catch me if I fall.
A very good evening and welcome to LFS for tonight's Nations League match between France and Belgium. A bit of one of our knockout games from Euro 2024, which saw France progress in the Euros in the summer. Can Belgium get their revenge in a Nations League campaign that has started very differently for these two teams? We're in France tonight, of course, for this one. In Decines, at the Groupama Stadium in Decines this evening. France and Belgium under Didier Deschamps and Domenico Tedesco for Belgium. Also this evening we'll be watching 6 other games for you after Cyprus's big defeat at home against Kosovo earlier this evening. 4-0 winners are Kosovo. Israel take on Italy in our group. Montenegro take on Wales. Austria head to Norway. Slovenia welcome Kazakhstan. And Turkey against Iceland, alongside Lithuania heading to Romania. All 7:45 kickoff, so about to get underway in all of these games. The national anthem's currently underway inside the stadium, the Groupama Stadium in Decines, as the Marseillaise is being sung by those French players. Of course, the first group games already took place in the last few days for these countries. France falling to a 3-1 defeat at the Parc des Princes to Italy on Friday night. And Belgium also in action on Friday night. They started with a victory, a 3-1 win for them against Israel to start their campaign. And their captain tonight scored 2 goals in that one, but he is on tender hooks. We'll get to the team news in just a moment as the Marseillaise concludes with applause from the immediately French crowd, of course. And let's have a look at this evening's teams then. France start with Mike Maignan in goal. Jules Koundé, William Saliba, Deo Upamecano and Luca Digne make up the back 4. Manu Kone is on a yellow card, so will miss the next match if he is booked this evening. He's alongside Matteo Guendouzi and N'Golo Kanté in midfield. N'Golo Kanté, the French captain. With a front 3 of Randall Kolo Muani, Ousmane Dembele and Marcus Thuram up front for France. On the bench this evening, Samba, Areola, Konate, Klaus, Hernandez, Fofana, Mbappe, Griezmann, Barcola and Olise. So no Mbappe and Griezmann from the start for France this evening. And we'll see whether they'll need them later on in the game. For Belgium, Koen Castells starts in goal. Castagne, Fass, De Bast and Theat make up the back 4. Amadou Onana and Yuri Tielemans, that midfield too that played a majority of their Euros games in the summer. They continue in defensive midfield with captain Kevin De Bruyne also on a yellow card for this game. As I said, will miss the next game if he is booked this evening. And Jeremy Doku off the right, Dodi Lukebakio off the left and Luis Openda leading the Belgian line. For the subs, Kaminski, Sells, Meunier, Bernau, Mangala, Salamakers, Vermeeren, Durenville, De Ketelara and Bakayoko on the bench for Belgium. France and Belgium, as I said, have recent history with each other, with France progressing in the Euros for a late own goal. Can Belgium get their revenge? Will France get off and get their first points of this Nations League campaign? A trophy that only they and 2 other countries in Spain and Portugal know what it is to win this competition. Kickoff in Decines is next. A very good evening and welcome to this Nations League game. We were meant to do more Nations League coverage over the weekend, but we've just found out where we get all the live feeds because being in the UK, it has been a bit more complex to find feeds for the Nations League campaign, but we have, and we're here tonight for this one and tomorrow night as well. And we'll keep you to date with all the scorelines, all the goals around the grounds from the Nations League this evening, all around Europe. As we get underway here in Decines for this one, France and Belgium. France in their white shirts and blue shorts and Belgium in their traditional home strip of maroon red with black shorts this evening. And of course, as I said, with that recent history between the two countries of meeting in the knockout stages of the Euros in the summer, France progressing 1-0 in the round of 16. Jan Vertonghen's own goal pushing France to the quarter-finals against Portugal ultimately. They've also played each other in the Nations League finals stage when it got to the last four, in a semi-final of a Nations League previously, with France again emerging victorious. Theo Hernandez's 90th minute winning goal secured the place in the final, which ultimately France went on to win against Spain back in 2021. Those are the last two meetings between the two sides. The last time Belgium actually beat France in any game was back in June 2015 in a 4-3 friendly win. That was a good run of unbeaten results against France spanning over 4 years. And they have certainly not had that recent good form against Les Bleus as of recently, have Belgium. They want to reignite that tonight though. A France side, as I said, walking wounded, not really at their best, and certainly weren't anywhere near their best on Friday when they played Italy. Anything but in kind of at the races, shall you say, for France. And so far tonight they've been on the back foot. It's Belgium trying to get forward in the attacking areas, but well defended back there by William Saliba. And the crowd are whistling because there is a Belgian player on the floor, and that is Luis Openda. So the referee will just stop the game for the moment to allow Luis Openda to receive treatment, as our games elsewhere are getting underway momentarily. There we are, they are all underway in those groups. Of course, if you're new to the Nations League, albeit this is the 4th edition now of the Nations League, it's not the newest of competitions, it's one of the newest UEFA competitions, but it's certainly not the new kid anymore. But just to recategorise everything, there are different leagues, so there are 4 different league phases: League A, League B, League C and League D, almost like a kind of what you would call in English football the pyramid, the 4 different divisions, and then there's groups within those divisions. So France are League A, Group 2 this evening, this group that we're watching. There's Group 1, 2, 3 and 4 in each league. So that means the vast majority of Europe are involved. League D has only 2 groups of 3 sets of teams, but it's all ranked based on your coefficients, your rankings, and based on where you started the very first tournament back in 2019. Or 2018 was the start of the competition. First finals was in 2019, as Belgium are going to get a free kick here, and a yellow card is going to be coming out to Jules Koundé. Or Manuel... is it Manu Kone? It is. It's Manu Kone. Just got the back of the shirt there, and Manu Kone is going to get booked. See this again. See the sliding challenge, and it's a late one on Amadou Onana. It's just not necessary from Manu Kone. Just streaches, and that means he will miss the next game. So he will miss that very intriguing trip to Israel in October, as De Bruyne takes the free kick, chips it into the box, flicked on at the back post, but the ball will bounce into the hands of Mike Maignan. We have a few goals to tell you about so far. There has been a goal between Montenegro and Wales that I can tell you about this evening in Nisik in Montenegro, and it is the Welsh side that have taken the lead in that one, as France come forward here, and the ball's cleared away by De Bast in the box. So Wales leading Montenegro by a goal to nil. Kiefer Moore with that goal for Wales as they lead. And there's been a goal in the other game in that group between Turkey and Iceland, and it is 1-0 to Turkey. Karim Akçakoglu has given Turkey the lead. Akçakoglu the scorer there. So 1-0 apiece on those 2 games in that group. A very exciting start to that group this evening. Of course, one of the home nations in Wales. We'll be watching another home nation tomorrow evening. England against Finland at Wembley Stadium. I hope you can join us for that one. Here's Artur Teat. Doku. Back it comes to De Bast. And across to Wout Faes. Belgium certainly have controlled more of the possession early doors as the ball switched out to Doku. Beautifully taken down, and a challenge in there at that time by Ousmane Dembele on the cover. Gives Belgium another free kick. Yeah, again just a stray leg there from Ousmane Dembele. Beautiful ball in behind over the top earlier on for Luis Openda. Up against William Saliba, and it was a real threatening opportunity for Belgium. Of course, he's that striker that maybe they've been missing. No Lukaku. Here's De Bruyne. Right-footed delivery deep to the back post. And the adjustments needed to be made, as it was Dodi Lukebakio at the back post. Just see it again. Kind of stretches for it, and it comes cascading off the chest of Mike Manu, who stretched himself in front. Really good goalkeeping, but it's great adjustment from Lukebakio, just to stretch his left leg up as the ball came at him in an unorthodox position, and he did well. And Belgium have the corner, as there's a bit of afters here. Temperatures have boiled over. It's got a bit nasty in the box there. The referee has a bit of trouble to sort out here at the moment. The German referee, Tobias Stiller. It's called Luis Openda. And N'Golo Conte over. I think Lucadinha is going to be joining as well, and they're both going to get a yellow card in, Openda and Lucadinha. So Lucadinha, the French left back, is getting that yellow card, and Luis Openda is also getting that yellow card for Belgium. Their first of the game, as they have their corner on this right-hand side. Belgium. We have another goal from Montenegro to tell you about. We'll get there in a moment, and in Romania as well, as De Bruyne takes this corner for Belgium. Right-hand side, right-footed delivery, out swinging, headed away by Kone. It comes all the way back to Cohen Castells in the Belgian goal. Right, I was mentioning another goal in Montenegro this evening for Wales, and Harry Wilson, who set up Kiefer Moore's goal, has now got on the score sheet himself. It is 2-0 to Wales. Inside just 3 minutes, they took a 2-goal lead. As Montenegro 0, Wales 2, and a goal, as I said, in Romania as well, in that group which saw Kosovo beating Cyprus by 4-0 earlier this evening. Romania have taken the lead in that one, as Belgium are in behind here. Lukebakio across, and Openda couldn't reach. That's a huge moment for Belgium down that right hand side. See it again, it's Kevin De Bruyne, just feeds it down the right flank, and Lukebakio's got the better of Lucadinha, just gets round the outside of him and just tries to square it across the 6-yard box. Just too much on it, just slightly ahead of Luis Openda, and that would have been a wonderful goal for Belgium, but failing to get the touch on it did the Belgian number 9. Goodness me, I'm telling you about goals elsewhere, and we've almost had one here, but it's one thing you certainly don't want to do when you're covering this game, commentating on one game and watching other games at the same time and keeping an eye on scores elsewhere, is losing out on a goal in your own game. That's something you do not want to do. Remind you then, Romania have taken the lead against Lithuania in that one. It is Valentin Mihaila has given Romania the lead there. I have to say, doing the Euros in the summer certainly helped me with pronunciations on a lot of names. Because it did, I have to be honest, hands down, Georgia was the most complicated and complex pronunciation. I got there, I figured it out once I got the way they pronounce names, as Luis Openda in behind forces the challenge off Jules Koundé, as the flag actually went up against the Belgian centre forward after all, and that comes for a France free kick in their own half. He is just offside. It's very close actually with William Saliba. I'd say that's very close. I was just seeing the Openda and Lucadinha incident from a bit earlier on. Just pushing and shoving. Honestly. You see that about 10 times a game from corners. We have a goal in the game in Norway this evening, between Norway and Austria. That one is in Oslo for us. In that one, that is League B Group 3, and Felix Horn-Meyer has given Norway the lead in that one this evening. Norway leading Austria by a goal to nil. Norway, of course, who weren't in the Euros in the summer. Austria, who were one of the big surprises, one of the big kind of key performers. They were in France's group in the Euros. As here come France themselves. Here's Colomwani taken down in the box. The referee says no penalty as Belgium clear their lines, but that was a really good break by France. Up the middle, bursting into space as there's a Belgian player on the floor at this moment in time, but France play on. The referee allows it. Down this left-hand side it comes. As the referee will now stop this game with Guendouzi in possession. And it is Openda who's down again. He is pointing at his sock or his boot of something. He's wanting a foul, I'm guessing. I mean, slightly clipped there by William Saliba, but there's not much in that. And it was Randall Colomwani did really well to break past Vout fast in the box, but the tracking back of Kevin De Bruyne is immaculate. Incredible challenge. Well, actually, see that again. It's wow, 50-50 that. He slid in, but it didn't look like he got much connection on the ball, did Kevin De Bruyne, but he must have got something. Referee clearly didn't see it as anywhere near a foul, and France play on. But it was a good move initially, just breaking away. We saw that very rarely from France in the Euros. It was quite negative football at times with this French side under Didier Deschamps. A lot of people calling for kind of maybe a change in regime, a change in system, a change in something from France, because they were quite negative in the Euros and they weren't kind of showing off their attacking prowess that we know they possess. I mean, they're probably one of the best attacking lines in European football in terms of international level, but they weren't able to show it very much at all in the Euros. It was really quite disappointing, and I think that quick break, that burst of pace, the kind of in-transition runs that we didn't really see from France in the Euros, we witnessed one of them there, and it was really kind of refreshing to see from France, as someone who's absolutely adored French international football for the last 6 years since they won the World Cup. I mean, that World Cup was one of the best footballing sides I have seen at international level, to be honest, albeit I've not seen decades worth, but in my short life, as Conte cuts it back, but Guendouzi kind of more passes it towards Castel. It's not a really venomous shot, that at all, as Conte just cut it back to the edge of the box, and Guendouzi just met it with his right foot and just curling as it bounced along the floor into the hands of Cohen Castells in the Belgian goal. I'm sure you are wondering, to answer your questions, Erling Haaland and Martin Ødegaard are both starting for Norway tonight. And Norway have scored, but it's not Erling Haaland. It was Felix Horn-Meyer that scored for them. And of course, you can say that we missed out on the likes of an Erling Haaland or a Martin Ødegaard, kind of the competitive nature of European football and qualifying for competitions, is that we miss out on such great talents that maybe don't play for countries that accumulatively have the quality all around the pitch to progress. And Norway are a side that probably a lot of people would want to see in Euros. I mean, I for one would love to see it. I mean, I enjoyed seeing some smaller sides. I mean, Georgia were a real welcome to the Euros in the summer. Romania as well was really fascinating to watch. I mean, there were some really good smaller countries, or so-called smaller countries, that really impressed in the Euros, and I think that was really good to see, that it's not only the bigger sides that can compete on the big stage, or that can compete in the biggest competitions, that everybody is vulnerable and no one is perfect, unless you're Spain, to be honest, because they were pretty much perfect in the competition. De Bruyne tried to cut it in behind, but well, blocked out that by Koundé as France tried to play the tiki-taka fast-passing football, but ultimately a free kick's been given to the way of the hosts this evening. De Bruyne's challenge on Manu Koné, receiving nothing out of that. De Bruyne, as I said, he is the other player alongside Manu Koné that, if is booked tonight, will miss the third game. Belgium, of course, will play Italy in their third group game of this campaign. Not until October, of course. They will play each other again in Belgium on match day 4, these two. Of course, you play each country twice in this group. You play 6 games before you then qualify for the finals, which will be played at some point next year. We're still yet to find out who will be hosting at the finals, of course, the 2 semi-finals and the live final of the UEFA Nations League. And we'll find out that, of course, in the next few months, to be very certain, of course. No goal in the other game in this group between Israel and Italy. Of course, that game being held in Budapest, in Hungary, of course, with the current situation in Israel and in Gaza and all that added extra context. That game is being played in Budapest this evening between Israel and Italy. But there is nothing really to separate the two sides so far. Italy have had just the only shot of the game, but Israel staying competitive. It is still goalless. Here's De Bruyne. Over the top it goes, looking for his club teammate in Doku, but closed off that time. As France try and break away again, but Kolo Muani couldn't reach the ball. Nice Tielemans. Has to go all the way back to Wout Faes. Of course, teammates as well, club level. Wout Faes and Yuri Tielemans at one point. Tielemans and Faes, both of Leicester City previously. Here's Jeremy Doku. Certainly lit it up at the Euros at times. Maybe wasn't his most consistent sets of performances, but certainly tore apart certain defences. And this France defence he certainly did a number on, albeit without any output. But the approach play from Belgium that night was really fascinating. It was really interesting to watch. As Wout Faes goes on a lovely run here. And Openda! Straight down the throat of Mike Maignan. That was a wonderful mazy run from Wout Faes. An unexpected occupant in that midfield. Just broke forward. And just the space opened up for Wout Faes as he broke through. And just rolled a nice ball in behind for Luis Openda, who really couldn't get the power on his shot. But a nice effort, ultimately, for the Belgian number 9. Certainly been heavily involved in the action in the first 18 minutes here in Decines, in the Groupama Stadium. Here's Lucadinha. Guendouzi. Out to the left-hand side for Thuram. Now in behind for Kolo Muani, who has this shot. Well saved by Castells. Now the follow-up is of the bar, but the flag went up in the end. Good move again down that left-hand side from France. It was a really good break, but just offside. Just seeing Wout Faes' run again. I mean, it's not often you see a centre-back driving forward like that into gaps, but the gaps were there and he did. He had the confidence and the clarity in his game to do so, and he did really well. It could have been a massive chance for Belgium. Here's De Bast. Across to Faes. Now back to Cohen Castells. To De Bast again. Looking to switch it out to the right hand side. Lukebakio just got past him. Just bounced in the wrong second there for Dodi Lukebakio. As the ball goes out of play for a French throw. Well, Kylian Mbappe certainly didn't have his way in the Euros. Of course, with that broken nose, that would certainly affect anybody's Euros campaign. But he seems to be laughing and giggling tonight. Of course, now a Real Madrid player. I mean, the worst kept secret in club football and transfers in the last few years it was always going to be his destination, and he certainly lit it up since joining. Of course, Real Madrid have a few injury issues. Not the most cleanest start to the La Liga campaign for Real Madrid, but of course, the reigning champions. Kylian Mbappe added to your roster certainly only bolster that squad even further. Here's Luca Digne. Guendouzi. He's got the switch ball on, takes that option, finds Jules Koundé on the right flank. Back infield to Dembele. Has space to try stride forward if he wants to. He is skipping across. Out to the left-hand side it comes. Here is Thuram. Tried to shoot from the edge of the box, but well charged down by the backtracking Luca Bacchio. France looked to build forward, but almost give it away to Kevin De Bruyne, who was on the press there, but Koné just got away from him. That was very close, as Koné then pushed over by Yuri Tielemans. And Conte. Now Dembele, not waiting around. Guendouzi. Now Thuram. This is a good chance for France. Marcus Thuram flicks it around the corner. Luca Digne's cross is blocked by Fass. And out for the throw into France on the left flank. But that's really intricate football from France. Really lovely football. And Luca Digne's cross well blocked out on that side by Wout Fass. But again, the intelligence from France to know that Belgium have committed bodies forward and take that free kick quickly, to switch it out to that left hand side where there was space, find that option. Throw in from Digne. That's the shot from Dembele. That is nowhere to be seen but into the crowd. Didier Deschamps on the sideline. Well, to be honest, it's been a pretty even opening 22 minutes or so, the first half, albeit Belgium had probably dominated the early possession. But France are starting to grow into the game a bit more and show a bit more of their attacking quality in this one, so it's fairly even at the moment. There are only two other games other than this one still goalless at the moment. Israel against Italy in this group, and Slovenia against Kazakhstan. Of course, Slovenia, of course, were another one of those Euro interesting sides that really offered themselves up in the Euros. As Jules Koundé's cross for Guendouzi, almost finding the target, as Guendouzi couldn't bring it under control, just could slide it towards Castells. That's a good chance. Wonderful ball by Jules Koundé. Spotted the late run from Guendouzi and he just chests it. Just couldn't bring it under control. And as he slid for it, kind of almost took out Castells in the process as he gathered it. But that was a really good chance again for France. It's another thing that we didn't really see in the Euros. Runners from midfield from France's point of view. I mean, Adrien Rabiot tried his very hardest in the Euros to do that, but the defences were really set up really well against France, and they really struggled with that kind of creativity and innovation within the side that we usually have seen from France, from that attacking midfield position, to try and break other sides down. And I'm not putting that solely on Antoine Griezmann, because Antoine Griezmann played a multitude of positions in the Euros, played off the right, played off the left, also played centrally, but wasn't consistently in a similar role game to game to kind of run up that kind of level of consistency and that kind of confidence in the game that we usually see from Antoine Griezmann. There has been a goal, by the way, between Slovenia and Kazakhstan after I just said that they were one of our 0-0s, and Slovenia have broken the deadlock. Benjamin Šeško, who certainly hit the crossbar and certainly hit the woodwork multiple times in the Euros, but he's found his shooting boots in the last few weeks, and Benjamin Šeško has given Slovenia the lead. It's Slovenia 1, Kazakhstan 0. All sides in that group drew on match day 1. Slovenia, Norway, Austria and Kazakhstan in their first games. Slovenia against Austria, and Norway and Kazakhstan all drew in that group. Of course, well, at half-time we're going to talk about tonight's games, of course. We're going to talk about this game in particular that we're watching, but also we're going to look ahead to what's to come in the Nations League, what fixtures we're looking forward to, what tomorrow's got to hold, and what match day 1 offered up as well. So a lot to get through at half-time. Here's N'Golo Kanté. Finds Dembele. Can he find an option? Charged down well by Teat, but Dembele tries to break past the left back. He does so, keeps the ball as he cuts it back for Guendouzi, whose shot comes off. I think that was De Bast and went blasting behind for a corner. It's fabulous from Ousmane Dembele here. Goes to ground after a challenge with Arthur Teat, and he just cuts the ball back for Guendouzi. Somehow he goes to ground, keeps the ball, and then finds a pass. Fabulous from Ousmane Dembele. And the ball actually came off Arthur Teat for the corner, of which Ousmane Dembele will take here for France. Right-footed delivery. Deep to the back post. Flicked on, but not much direction on that one, other than into the hands of Goen Castells. It's great to have you with us this evening here in LFS for this one. We have the Nations League Matchday 2 between France and Belgium, still 0-0. 26.5 minutes gone here in Decines. Decines-Charpieu, to give it its full name, in the Groupama Academy Stadium. I could not tell you where this is. I looked at the stadium and was like, I've never heard of that before. I love that with some countries. They go to random stadiums in their country. I mean, Germany have been doing it for years. I mean, it's not random stadiums, it's other German stadiums, but Groupama Academy Stadium is certainly not one I've ever heard of before from France. But France have been doing it, Germany do it, Italy do it sometimes as well, Spain at times as well. So I like to see that from big European nations where you get to see the little intricacies, the little stadiums you wouldn't normally see. You know, instead of just the Stade de France or the Parc des Princes in Paris, we get to see other parts of the country and other stadiums in the country that kind of offer something else up. It's a niche thing, but it's a nice thing to really see at times. Kone, the ball finds its way out to Matteo Guendouzi. Digne. Back it comes to Manu Kone. N'Golo Conte. Upamecano. Out to the right hand side comes Dembele, who flicks it past Teat. Here's Dembele. Couldn't get past the backtracking Jeremy Doku there. And puts it out for a throw to France on that right hand side. Koundé takes quickly. Finds Dembele. Takes a risky pass back there, but a good challenge by Saliba. Keeps France on the front foot as Koundé now delivers out to the left-hand side. Here for Marcus Thuram! And the shot takes a deflection. Half cleared away by Teat. Dembele keeps it alive, flicks it to the back post. Thuram takes it down, flicks it now for Digne. Couldn't get a clean connection on it. And couldn't get it firing towards that goal. But France are certainly knocking on the door. And Belgium, at this moment, hanging on in there. As here comes Guendouzi again. Seems to be a lot more cohesion and control and confidence from France. And that kind of catalogue of different threatening opportunities they can create against you. If one doesn't work, alright, we'll use this one. They've got so many strings to their bow. As here's Kante. Now he plays it across and the shot deflected, but it's in from Randall Kolo Muani. A battle of a number of shots, and eventually it finds its way in, and France break the deadlock. You can't say they haven't been pushing for it, and they have finally opened the scoring. They have been bombarding the Belgian goal the last few minutes, and the man up front leading the line, Randall Kolo Muani, is the man to find the finish. It's a good link up by Kolo Muani initially. Plays the ball to Conte. Conte laid it off to Ousmane Dembele. Just drifted it round the corner. Dembele's shot then saved by Castells. It bounces out into the path of Kolo Muani, whose shot then takes a deflection on the line by a Wout Fast trying to keep it out, but it bounces into the net and gives France the early lead. France 1, Belgium 0. Randall Kolo Muani certainly will not be stripped of that goal was going on target when he had the shot, so there was no doubt about it was his goal. No questions about that. We have another goal to tell you about in Slovenia this evening, between Slovenia and Kazakhstan. That game being played in Ljubljana. Lovely name. And Benjamin Šeško again has doubled Slovenia's lead. It is Slovenia 2, Kazakhstan 0. And as I said, Benjamin Šeško on the score sheet for the second time in the first half. Just seeing a challenge there by Lukudinja on Lukubakio. Remember, Lukudinja already on a yellow card. It's not a massive infringement. Referee certainly not giving any more to Lukudinja, just a free kick for Belgium. Here's De Bast. Now fast. Back to Zeno De Bast. Plays a lovely ball in behind, just too much on that one. And Luis Opendes was the target. But Mike Magna, anticipating really well, comes out and gathers in his own box. You've seen it multiple times tonight for Belgium. They tried to thread that through ball in behind for Luis Openda. In behind the French defence. He's been offside once or twice, and a few of those opportunities not hitting their target is, my goodness me, that was certainly not calm at all by the French defence that time. Théo Upamecano's ball back to Mike Magna. It's almost sold the French goalkeeper down the river there. That was terrible, terrible ball. And Kevin De Bruyne on the press, since Mike Magna gets it, we're about 2 yards away from him. Magna just has to slice it behind for the corner. That was really terrible ball back by Théo Upamecano there. The corner incoming for Belgium. Lukubakio to take. Left footed out swinging ball. Delivered in. All the way through. As Kone will pick it up on the far side. Pressed there by Timothy Castagna. Nice work from Kone to lay it off as Digne plays it fiercely into the path of Dembele, who has to boot clear. And Castagna wins the throw on that right hand side. He gets the throw for Belgium as that ball went out of play from France. A few nervy moments at the back there from France all of a sudden. Here's De Bast. Now Teat. Doku. Trying to skip his way past Jules Koundé, but Koundé was not allowing him a path down that left flank, and Belgium get the free kick. So all but one of our games that we're keeping an eye on this evening is got a goal in it, and that's between Israel and Italy, still goalless. Every other game has at least a goal that we have told you about this evening. Certainly really struggling to find the net out of those two sides. They've started to dominate the game a bit more and having a few more opportunities, but still without a shot on target in that one. The Azzurri, of course, so nothing to show there at the moment. All of these games being played in conjunction tonight, all kicking off at the same time, so there's no confusion there, albeit Cyprus and Kosovo was an early kickoff, and that kicked off a bit earlier this evening. Already a full-time score as the ball in behind here for Colomwani again, who's broke free. Wanted the flag there, the Belgian defence, but the flag stayed down for the moment. The ball comes back to Conte, and the flag does go up now. After a few further passes, we can clearly see that Rando Colomwani was offside. No question about that one. We're just seeing Colomwani's goal again. Really lovely goal. I mean, it's not the cleanest, not the most sweetest of strikes, but they all count. And it was in a period of real French dominance in the game where they were peppering that Belgian goal and really questioning the Belgian defence on multiple occasions. And they'd come very close just about 30-40 seconds earlier with a few opportunities that ultimately didn't end up in clear-cut opportunities and clear-cut shots, but there were certainly chances in and around the box for France just before they'd find the nets. Digne. Flicked into the middle. Brought down well by N'Golo Conte. Wonderful ball control. Kone to switch. Out to Koundé. Nicely brought down by Jules Koundé. Couldn't get past Doku that time. France get the throw. It's Dembele. Now Guendouzi. Back it comes to Luca Digne on the left. Now to Thuram. Back it goes to Kone, who skips past his marker in De Bruyne. De Bruyne certainly doing his very best at marking Manu Kone this evening as Conte sends him sliding to the floor. It was wonderful from N'Golo Conte. I mean, to do that, I mean, he's firing at all levels. That's beautiful from Manu Kone. Breaking tackles, breaking challenges, breaking lines, and almost finding himself being broken himself as foul on Manu Kone. Gets France a free kick, and it's actually the Belgian player that committed the foul in Youri Tielemans. He's come off the worst of the two players after that collision. Manu Kone is on the floor at the moment, so they're both not in a great way, as Kone did really incredibly well. He was pressed by De Bruyne and Luis Openda, but just split them in half. It's incredible. Skipping past both with just one singular movement. An incredible move by Manu Kone, and just gets absolutely cleaned out by Youri Tielemans. Yeah, it's really not a good challenge at all, and his naivety from Youri Tielemans has actually made him come off the worst of the two players. So while they received treatment, I can tell you about a few other goals elsewhere, a few equalisers elsewhere. In Romania this evening in Bucharest, Valentin Mihaila gave Romania the lead, but it is an equaliser for Lithuania. Armandas Kušis has levelled things for Lithuania. And in Norway as well, another equalising goal. This time it's Austria that's on the equalising front. Marcel Sabitzer with the equaliser there for Austria. So it is Norway 1, Austria 1, and Romania 1, Lithuania 1. We also have the breaking of the deadlock in Hungary this evening, albeit Israel against Italy, but it is in Hungary, and it is the visitors who have been pushing for the opener have found that opening goal. David Fratesi has given Italy the lead. So at least every game now has a goal in it. A few extra ones as well, as we're back ready to get underway again with France ready to take this free kick. Tielemans is okay. He will return to the field momentarily, we do believe, as France take this free kick. Upamecano out to the left hand side, it comes for Digne. Looking for the cross into the box, and N'Golo Muani was there but couldn't direct it in, and easily gathered in the end by Castells. Wonderful cross by Luca Digne, just low hard across the box, and N'Golo Muani tried to flick it with any sort of connection, but ultimately bounces up into the hands of Cohen Castells, and an easy gather for the Belgian keeper. Belgium certainly lost their way a bit in the last few minutes. They've not been the threat that they probably were in the first 5, 10, even 15 minutes of this game. Since France have grown into it and started to control the game a bit more and get a bit more joy up the field, Belgium have kind of lost their rhythm and their momentum completely in the game. France are starting to dominate now. Here's Saliba finding Thuram. Back to Manu Kone and Digne. There's another goal to tell you about in Turkey this evening, between Turkey and Iceland, and it is another equalising goal, and it is Iceland that are level, of course, and it's Victor Palsson that has levelled the game for the visitors there. It is Turkey 1, Iceland 1, as Belgium come forward with De Bruyne. Really good challenge by Upamecano, helped out by Guendouzi, as Guendouzi carries the ball away. Lovely control by Dembele. The give and go, and now Guendouzi tried to find the run of N'Golo Muani, but weren't on the same page there, the two Frenchmen, and Belgium will recover. But again, it just seems like there's a bit of calmness about France. They're cruising at the moment. They, those little touches, those little flicks, the kind of showy offy type moves, albeit want of a better phrase, but those little moves, those little bits of skill where you know you're calm in the game. You wouldn't do that if you're under pressure. And it looks like just France are comfortable at the moment at this time. And albeit, let's not forget, Kylian Mbappe, Antoine Griezmann, both on the bench. I mean, who else could I name? Theo Hernandez, who starts usually at left back, he's also on the bench this evening. Bradley Barcola, who's been scored France's only goal against Italy, also on the bench. As Belgium come across, and De Bruyne's cross is met by Luka Bacchio, but he couldn't make much of it. At the back post as Castagna gives the ball away cheaply, and now France can break here. They need to get bodies forward if they want to make something of this, as Koundé finds Dembele. And now France continue to break forward. Here's Ousmane Dembele. Entering the box, cuts it back, but a wasted pass. Easily gathered by Tielemans, who can break away now. Finds Doku. Doku looking for Openda in behind, and Saliba did well in covering. Ultimately goes out for a corner. William Saliba had Luis Openda's number there. Certainly not letting him break through on that occasion. Two sloppy moves, though, from both teams there, ending good attacking positions as De Bruyne fizzes that one across the 6-yard box, and France left chasing. Luka Bacchio ultimately couldn't make much of it, and then Castagna gave it away, and then France couldn't make much of their counter-attack, giving it away themselves as Belgium have a corner here, left-hand side. Luka Bacchio over to take. Can Belgium get on terms before half-time? Left-footed delivery. Flicked away at the front post by Koné. As France try and come away with it. That's nice work that time. Coming down the left comes Luca Digne. Just about kept that ball in. There was maybe one or two questioning it. So here's Manu Koné. Back with Saliba now. Guendouzi. France just looking to control possession up the field now. Koné. Digne. Colomwani dropping a bit deeper to help out as Koné telegraphed that pass out wide to Marcus Thuram. Out for a Belgian throw. Less than 3 minutes to go in the first half. It's been a very entertaining first half, very exciting first half. It's flew by so far this evening. It's great to have you with us here in LFS this evening for this one between France and Belgium in Decines in the Groupama Academy Stadium in the UEFA Nations League. France leading by a goal to nil. Randall Colomwani's effort giving France the early advantage, which they still hold. Here's Yuri Tielemans. Castagna back to Tielemans. I think Belgium just need a bit of possession before half-time. If they can find an equaliser, that would be even better, but as I said, they lost their rhythm, momentum in this first half when France started to take control, and I think they've kind of found themselves hoping, waiting on optimistic opportunities and waiting on their stars to show up in the likes of De Bruyne and Doku to really grasp them something out of this, where they've really had very little other than that in the last 20 minutes or so to really grasp onto as positives to take out of this game at the moment. France are just passing it around really easily. Here's Digne, finds Conte, who was pressed but does really well again under immense pressure. Just controls the ball on a dime. It's incredible, and that's beautiful from Digne. And that ball from Colomwani, tried to find Thuram in behind, but well covered over by De Bast. Last minute of the half. It's Tayat looks to break down the play the ball down the left, but as Doku got on the ball, he was penalised for a foul in a challenge with Jules Koundé, and a free kick goes the way of France. Didier Deschamps, I would say, would be much happier with his side's first half performance than he was probably on Friday night, or even at any point on Friday, really. The side's been much more dominant in their display this evening, much more control, but also much more inventive and creative in their football. France, as we will have 3 added minutes at the end of the half. Domenico Tedesco will have a bit of chat to do with his players. A few things to go over with his players at the start of the or at half time to try and figure out a way back into this one. It's not that they're completely out of the game, but they just need to find their footing a bit more in the game and kind of refine that rhythm they had shown in the first few minutes. As Conte now breaks with the ball, and here's Jules Koundé, the cross to the back post. Castagna heads it back into the danger zone. Here's for Dembele, kind of squeeze a bit of room. Now Conte will shoot, takes a deflection, and Teyat's deflection will carry it behind for the corner. Few probably hopeful calls for handball there. To say it again, yeah, it's never a handball. His arms are behind his back. It's never a handball on Artur Teyat there. Did come off his upper arm, but his arms are by his side, or at least behind his back as far as he could put them. So there's no question of handball there at all. No doubt that it is not handball, as Dembele takes this corner. Headed on and over the bar by Jules Koundé. William Saliba was also there, but Koundé got the clean connection on it. Couldn't direct it towards goal. Of course, don't forget, as I mentioned, more Nations League football for you tomorrow evening as the first international break of the new domestic season concludes tomorrow evening as England take on Finland at Wembley tomorrow evening. 7:45 kickoff. England winners against Ireland in Dublin at the weekend. 2-0 winners again in that one, and they're looking to make it 2 wins from 2 under interim boss Lee Carsley. We'll watch that as Harry Kane is anticipating his 100th England appearance tomorrow night as England take on Finland tomorrow, 7:45. Amongst all the scores from every other game on the night tomorrow night. Certainly not want to miss that one before the international break comes to a close. I don't know many people that prefer an international break to domestic football. I don't think there's any of them in the world that do, but if you're going to miss it, well, certainly there's going to be 2 more before the end of the year. One in October and one in November, as is tradition. As that long kick from Mike Magna calls an end to the first half, where France probably steadied their way out of the blocks, weren't at their very best early doors. Belgium come out the quicker of the two sides, but it's about how you end the half that matters, and France have certainly grew into the game and dominated the game since controlling it. They had a couple of good opportunities, but the only one converted at half-time is Randall Colomowani's one. At half-time in Decines, at the Groupama Academy Stadium in the Nations League, it is France 1, Belgium 0. Analysis and chat at half-time on the way next. Do stay with us.
Catch me if I fall.
Welcome back to LFS for the Nations League. Live here this evening from the Groupama Academy Stadium between France and Belgium. in the second round of matches in this season's campaign. France leading by a goal to nil between at half-time against Belgium. Randall Colomwani's goal, the difference between the two sides. Elsewhere, at half-time, all of our games are at the half at the moment. Earlier this evening, we saw Cyprus beaten 4-0 by Kosovo. At those moments, Vedat Mukuri with 2 goals on the night, both in the first half. Albion Ramani and Lumbar Delova securing a victory for Kosovo. 4-0 win for them on Matchday 2 earlier after Kosovo lost their first game of the campaign, but certainly making up for that with a 4-0 victory against Cyprus. As I said, France 1-0 up against Belgium at half-time. Israel 1-0 down in this group between France, Belgium, Israel and Italy, all in one group. Very exciting group, of course. Israel have certainly got the group of death, shall we say. Italy leading Israel by a goal to nil. David Fratesi with the goal in that one that has given the Azzurri the lead at half-time. 2 very, very early goals in League B Group 4 between Montenegro and Wales, where Wales have charged into a 2-0 lead in the first few minutes. A first-minute goal from Kiefer Moore, set up by Harry Wilson, gave Wales the lead before Nico Williams set up Harry Wilson for the second goal inside 3 minutes to give Wales a 2-goal lead on the night. It is Montenegro 0, Wales 2. Wales who drew 0-0 with Turkey in Wales on match day 1. Wales looking for 3 points in Montenegro tonight. Elsewhere in that group, actually, I will just update that group first. Turkey and Iceland is also half-time. It is 1-1 between Turkey and Iceland. Kerem Aktürkoğlu gave Turkey the lead before Victor Palsson leveled things for Iceland just before half-time. It is 1-1 in that one. In the other group, League B Group 3, Norway and Austria. Norway and Austria both drew their first games of the group, and it looks like they might be continuing in that theme. Norway took the lead through Felix Horn-Meyer. You'll be surprised to know it wasn't one of their stars, especially not Erling Haaland. And Felix Horn-Meyer gave Norway the lead before Marcel Sabitzer levelled things for Austria. It is 1-1. And in that group as well, Slovenia leading Kazakhstan by 2-0. In that one, Benjamin Šeško with both goals for Slovenia, and they lead by 2-0 at the break. And the only other game involved tonight, the game at the top of your screen, are in the same group as these two, Romania and Lithuania, Cyprus and Kosovo as well in that group. Kosovo winning earlier this evening, as I mentioned. Romania 1, Lithuania 1 is the half-time score. Romania taking the lead through Valentin Mihaila before Armandas Kukis equalised for Lithuania. It is 1-1. So, a variety of scores around the grounds and around Europe this evening in our various countries, in Cyprus, in France, in Hungary, where Israel are playing, in Montenegro, Norway, Slovenia, Turkey and Romania. So, lots to look forward to there. And of course, as I mentioned, this is match day 2 of 6, as I mentioned. 4 teams in a group. You play each team twice in that group, so you play 6 games in total. 2 in this international break, 2 in October, and 2 in November, before, of course, the finals, which is the semi-finals and final of the Group A team, or of the League A teams, will all be played in early next year, usually March, the March international break next year. So we will certainly let you know if when that is happening. We don't know where it is happening at the moment. UEFA haven't released the hosts for that competition, for the finals yet, but of course, as soon as it's found out, you will know about it. So I can recap some results from match day 1 then of the Nations League, because this new campaign started last Thursday, of course, with the 4th edition of this competition. Some would say it's still very new. It is very new in comparison to other UEFA competitions, but it is certainly not in its early days. Scotland, in their group, of course, Scotland absolutely massively performed in their recent out-of-competition tournaments, or out of tournament competitions, shall I say, in qualifiers and in the Nations League previously, but failed to get off to a winning start, or even any sort of start on Thursday night as they took on Poland at Hampden Park in Glasgow. Were a 2-0 down at half-time, Scotland, in that one. They crawled it all the way back to 2-2, but ultimately lost in the 97th minute, did Scotland, on Thursday night, as they were beaten by Poland. Nikola Zalewski scoring that late goal, the late penalty to secure the points for Poland. Portugal were winners against Croatia. That's a really tough group. That's really top nations in that group. Portugal, Croatia, Scotland and Poland in one group. That is really tough. Denmark, Switzerland, Serbia and Spain are another group. Denmark beating Switzerland. Spain drawing away to Serbia on match day 1 as well, mixed in there. Northern Ireland made a good start to their campaign, another one of the home nations, as they won 2-0 at home at Windsor Park in Belfast on Thursday night, I believe that was. It was 2-0. Belarus and Bulgaria also in that group. They drew 0-0. In this one, on match day 1, of course, in this group that we're watching this evening, Belgium beat Israel by 3-1. France beaten 3-1 by Italy in France, of course, in the Parc des Princes. So Italy and Belgium both off to winning starts. France yet to get off the mark along with Israel, but with their half-time score they might just be changing that at the moment. Other results to tell you, of course, England's against Ireland, their first big meeting in quite a number of years in Dublin. That was on Saturday. Ireland beaten by 2-0. Two new regimes in those countries, with Ireland now under Heimer Hallgrimsson after Stephen Kenny was sacked earlier this year for Ireland, and England under new interim head coachship, shall we say, with Lee Carnesley taking over after Gareth Southgate not retired, but stood down from the position after the Euros. England winning by 2-0, and two former Irishmen, two players that used to play in the youth setup in Ireland, Declan Rice and Jack Grealish, both scoring in Dublin on Saturday. Elsewhere, Germany beat Hungary 5-0 in that one. Netherlands 5-2 winners against Bosnia. Of course, we'll be hearing from that group tomorrow night, so do stay tuned for that one as well. So a couple of big results on match day 1. Already in match day 2, we've seen some big results as well. Denmark beating Serbia, as probably expected. Bulgaria beating Northern Ireland. Portugal beating Scotland. Ronaldo scoring that 88th minute winner. Certainly Scotland following foul of late winners against them. Croatia beating Poland. Spain destroying Switzerland in Switzerland with 10 men. Spain winning 4-1 away against Switzerland as well last night. So lots to bring you up to date with. And we'll have a lot more to talk about tomorrow as well. If you're interested in what's coming up, then England's against Finland is our key game tomorrow evening here on LFS. We'll have that commentary from Wembley Stadium tomorrow night, alongside other games including Hungary, Bosnia, Netherlands, Germany in that one as well, Albania, Georgia, Czechia, Ukraine, Ireland, Greece, Latvia, Faroe Islands, North Macedonia, Armenia and Andorra against Malta are amongst those games for you. And if you can't get enough of Nations League action, well, of course, we'll be back in October over a number of days in the October international break between the 10th and 15th of October. Match days 3 and 4 take place, and there is an image of our latest winners, Spain, who won in 2023. They won in the Netherlands in 2023, of course. 3 winners of this competition previously: Portugal, France and Spain in that order, of course. So 3 different winners. Are we going to get another new winner in the UEFA Nations League, or will we have a repeat winner? We will, of course, see as this tournament and competition continues. Donnie in the chat says, hey, great commentary, thanks very much, great to have you with us this evening. Says, by the way, the Groupama Stadium is the Lyon Stadium. I didn't know that. Maybe I knew that, maybe knew it by a different name, but there we are. See, it's great to know about different stadiums and different parts of each country around Europe, and that's what this competition gives you the opportunity to witness. That's great. That's good information. Right, the second half between France and Belgium is on the way very shortly. France leading by 1-0. We'll also tell you when we come back what's coming up on LFS domestically, as domestic football returns this week, and also Champions League returns next midweek. We'll tell you what's coming up in the next few minutes. Do stay with us.
Catch me if I fall.
Welcome back to the Nations League Live here in LFS. The second half in the Groupama Academy Stadium between France and Belgium is on the way in just a moment. But what's coming up on LFS? Yeah, I hear you ask. Over the next few days and weeks, as the domestic action returns once again. We have Championship action on Friday night. Hull taking on Sheffield United this Friday. We could have Premier League action on Saturday, depending on my availability, but we'll see. The North London Derby, though, is one not to miss on Sunday as Tottenham take on Arsenal. That's Sunday at 2 o'clock. That one live on LFS. Great to look forward to. And then next week, we have a quadruple header. 4 Champions League games to bring you next week. 2 on Tuesday night as Aston Villa head to Young Boys and AC Milan host Liverpool in the San Siro. That's on Tuesday night. On Wednesday night, we see Manchester City take on Inter Milan in a repeat of the 2022 final. The 2023 final, between those two sides that played out the Champions League final then. And Atalanta take on Arsenal. The Atalanta, the Europa League champions from last year, as they host Arsenal on the Thursday night. So lots of football to bring you as that comes around in the coming weeks as well. The football is great at the moment. It is absolutely fantastic. I'm enjoying this. This game tonight's been good. I'm enjoying it at the moment. I may also think about the NFL returned at the weekends. And if you're interested, we might do NFL Sundays. Usually games around 6 o'clock in the evening on a Sunday. We might do those games if you're at all interested. Of course, we'll put a poll up in the next few days. While we do have this international break, we do have a bit of time to kind of plan things and figure things out. And whatever you're interested in, whatever you want to see on the channel, do let us know and do get involved, because without you, this channel's really nothing. I enjoy doing it, but you know, if we've no one to watch us, no one to enjoy it with, well, it's pretty much pointless, isn't it? But if you would be interested in NFL Sundays, which would kind of have me talking about all the games and the scores and everything that's happening in kind of situations in the NFL, I would be interested in doing that. But of course, we'll put a poll up on the channel either tonight or tomorrow or whatever. So do get involved in that, do interact in that, and that will be greatly appreciated. Whether you want it or not, just get involved. Hit the yes or no on that vote, and let us know, because last season we tried the NFL and we run into a few problems with commentary and things like that. So if you would like to see that, that would be greatly appreciated to let us know, because we can't just do normal football. What we know in Europe as football, maybe American football, also known as the NFL, as well. And if you're interested in anything that we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. If you're enjoying the stream and enjoying our channel content, greatly appreciated that you're joining us this evening, and everything that we do is all for you. I didn't mean that to rhyme, but it did. We've just hit 24,000 subscribers in the last few days, and we greatly appreciate each and every one of you who's hit that button, and we thank you so much for still continuing to support the channel all the way through. The road to 25,000 is our next target. So do keep your support, because it's greatly appreciated. Also, if you want to follow us on socials, also on X, Instagram and TikTok, all the links and handles you need are on in the live video description, so do click those and do follow us there. Right, if you're wondering why I'm filling time because the players are not back out on the field yet. They are just emerging. The Belgian players are emerging now, so if you're wondering why I'm rambling on and not talking about what's going on the field, it's because there's no action on the field at this moment in time. Right, so the second halves are underway almost everywhere else. The Turkey-Iceland game is the only other game other than this one we're watching tonight yet to get underway in the second half. So of course we'll keep you updated with everything that's going on elsewhere as well here this evening. As France are certainly keeping us waiting. The Belgian players are out there. They're playing kind of one-touch football at the moment with the little combinations with the ball, but France are certainly taking their time at this moment in time. Usually I'm rushing to tell you what's happening and what's coming up before the second half gets underway, but France certainly not in a hurry to be re-entering the field in the second half, albeit they are leading at this moment with Randall Kolomowane's goal, the difference between the two sides at the moment. As you can see, the live stats on the right hand side of your screen, France dominating those stats mostly, except the possession stats. France have dominated all the categories with the XG, 1.49 to Belgium's 0.31. They've had more goal attempts, 12 to Belgium's 3. More shots on target, 6 to Belgium's 2. And all the rest of it there on the screen. The only one they haven't dominated, as I said, was possession. At 44% of the ball in that first half did France. Really keeping us waiting here. As I mentioned a bit earlier on, don't forget more commentaries to come for you. England against Finland tomorrow at Wembley Stadium. Tomorrow 7:45 here in LFS. Someone go and get them here. Oh, there they are. We're finally got a shot of them. I don't know why they're taking so long. We've certainly passed 15 minutes. Fashionably late are the French players, as the officials also weren't on the field, so they're probably contributing to this as well this evening, as France are just returning to the fields at this moment in time. You can never really predict anything that could happen. Of course, as the tricolore, as it's known, is being waved around by the many French fans inside this stadium tonight, waiting for their side, eagerly awaiting for their side to return to the fields. And I think Luis Openda is kind of questioning the referee. He's saying, what's going on? Why was there such a delay? And I don't know what the referee's told him, but it looked like he gave him a wry smile. As Didier Deschamps' side are returning to the field eventually, which gets a roar from the home crowd. Doesn't look like there's going to be any changes at half-time for either side that I can tell from the many players on the fields at this moment, so it doesn't look like there's going to be any adjustments really in terms of personnel between the two sides as we get ready to start the second half. Tony says taking their time. Yes, they are taking their time as we're back out on the field. Here we go. Ready to go then. Once they cut to that wide angle, you know, we're ready. All 22 players have made their way back onto the field, and the officials are there too. And the fans singing in along with their side to support them for this second half as we get underway. Our first half that saw France dominate, as I said, the vast majority of the stats other than the possession of the ball. They certainly peppered the Belgian goal on multiple occasions. We're trying to play early, quick football down the right-hand side here. Here's Dembele. Breaks into the box and the cut back to Thuram. Couldn't bring it under control, although he does gather it out on the right-hand side. Thuram flicks it in. Headed away that time as France win it back through Kone in midfield. Digne to Guendouzi. Interested to see how Belgium will adjust from first half to second half to see whether they can get back into the game as Digne nicks the ball away and puts a cross in. It ultimately has Zeno de Bast heading behind for a corner. Really good from Luca Digne. Flicked it on the Colomwani, who took a touch, flicked it around the corner again for Digne, and then the ball fizzed into the box. Looking for a target. It's a good cross and a good clearance that leads to a France corner, which they've taken short. Dembele back all the way with Conte. Will break out to the left hand side on his own out there, but De Bruyne clips it away for a France throw. France certainly come out on the front foot in the second half. Digne with a throw in, taken down by Colomwani and feinted in behind, but all the way through to Cohen Castells in the Belgian goal. Tillemans. It's about Belgium kind of really, as I said it multiple times in that first half, finding their rhythm, finding their kind of momentum again in the game, where they got into a good kind of spell at the first 10-15 minutes of the game where they were breaking forward with pace and with opportunity and with kind of real vigour and intensity in their side, but it kind of faded as France started to show themselves and kind of open up into the game. Belgium kind of cowered away and kind of shriveled up a bit and wilted in that first half as it went on, and since then they really haven't asked many questions of the French defence, as Saliba's asked a few here as he clears his lines well, and Kone wins France a throw in on that left hand side. A penny for Domenico Tedesco's thoughts at the moment, albeit it's not dire situations for Belgium, of course not, but you know, side are certainly not showing as much as probably he would have wanted to kind of change the scoreline at the moment, as Cohen Castells under pressure there. Has to put that one out for a France throw. We have a goal in Turkey to tell you about as Luca Digne takes this throw in now for France. Kone linking up with Thuram, who gets spun on the ball there by Luca Bacchio. Wanted the foul, did Dodi Luca Bacchio, but the referee moved. Here's Conte looking to switch it. Does switch it out to Dembele. Got the overlapping run of Koundé, but Dembele cuts it back for Guendouzi. Now Ousmane Dembele. Try to force it there past Doku, couldn't get past him, and Doku comes away with the ball, but surrounded by four and comes away with the ball somehow, and now finds Luis Openda. Openda on the left, looking for the cross, but there's no threat in that whatsoever. The flag was up anyway against Luis Openda. I can tell you that Turkey have retaken the lead against Iceland in that one. It is Turkey 2, Iceland 1, and the man who scored the first Turkish goal has added a second. Karim Artukoglu has doubled, or has given Turkey the lead once again. Got his second of the night. I have to say, the individual play there from Jeremy Doku a moment ago for Belgium's break was absolutely fabulous. He was surrounded by four French players, and he somehow came away with the ball. I don't know how, but he did. Here's Jeremy Doku again, off the left this time. Back it comes with Onana. Not given many options. Has to go back to Wout Faes. To Tillemans. And now comes Onana, who tried to squeeze that through, but well cut out by Conte. And now France on the break. Guendouzi tried to play the ball through, and Colomwani couldn't reach. Belgium break up that France attack, but instantly play the ball straight back to France. Onana giving it away to Conte again. Here's Dembele. Koundé. Bit sloppy in the last few minutes there from Belgium. Those few passes. Koundé. Kone does well to step away from the challenger. De Bruyne and takes this shot. That's over the bar from Manu Kone. Did really well initially. I have to say his footwork this evening's been absolutely sensational. When he's been under pressure, he's just looked so calm and composed on the ball. At just moving the ball from one foot to the other with pure kind of precision and no real kind of stoppage in his movement. It's just so fluid as he breaks away from De Bruyne, and then the space opens up. It kind of gets a bit carried away and the shot goes well over the bar. But it's those little kind of intricate moments that you need from a forward, from a midfielder, a defensive midfielder. I just lost the feed there for a second, that's why I got a bit confused. But it's those intricate little moments of quality from a midfielder that you need in those tight spaces at the highest level to really get the best out of your team and allow them to really dominate the game and keep the pressure on the opponent and not be afraid to take players on and have that confidence and ability to do so on a consistent basis is what really makes the best out of a defensive midfielder. And Manu Kone certainly offered a lot of those tonight as he tries to switch it out. Digne there picks up the loose ball as Castagna played it into space, but Luca Digne wins the free kick for France. Yeah, went a bit too late there from Timothy Castagna as he shakes his head in disagreement with the referee in his decision, but it's certainly a foul. And France take the free kick quickly. Upamecano to Koundé, now Dembele, nice give and go. Here's Koundé, cuts it back for Dembele, adjusts as he tried to spin on the ball, but well charged down as Belgium try and create something on the counter, but the ball to Openda was a bit wayward as Saliba plays to Digne. Now Thuram drives infield, Marcus Thuram, the gaping hole, finds it to Koundé, now Dembele in the box, well charged out that time as Guendouzi's got a grips on De Bruyne, as France do win the ball back, but Guendouzi's going to be penalised here for that pull on De Bruyne. And the gaping hole there on that side for Jules Koundé to make the overlap. Just come in field and plays it straight to Dembele. He just wasn't given the space, well charged down by Tabas, but that was fabulous movement from France again. Intricacies as we see that Koundé Dembele give and go a bit earlier on, almost working out, but just starting to see those moves again from France where they're growing into the game a bit more and starting to really find the final third players, trying to create things a bit further and try and search for that second goal. Belgium still in search for that equaliser, which hasn't been much evidence so far to prove that they are going to get that, or going to come close in the next few minutes, because there's been very little in terms of good attacking play from Belgium. As Yuri Tielemans is a bit annoyed that the ball was thrown away from him, as Belgium win that throw in on the left hand side. Castagna takes, finds Luka Bacchio, trying to dart the ball for De Bruyne, who's well cut out there by Upamecano. It's the pressure on Dembele there as he spins away and darts one out to the right hand side for a completely unmarked Jules Koundé here. Koundé across and diving towards it was Guendouzi, couldn't reach it. Thuram picks it up on the left. France knocking on the door for a second. Here's Manu Kone over the bar. Good effort, good chance, really good movement again from France. Ousmane Dembele, the way he breaks away in that midfield and then just forces one out to the right hand side for an absolute completely free Jules Koundé as he tried to speed it across the 6-yard box, ultimately not finding a target, but ultimately France don't give up the opportunity and find an effort, albeit Manu Kone shot just over the bar that time, but still getting an opportunity and creating something out of a good attacking spell. Better from France again. They're really pushing for that second. Speaking of pushing for a second, there has been a second that has been found in this group this evening, and it is in Hungary between Israel and Italy, and it is a second goal for Italy this evening. Moise Kean or as some would know him from his Everton days, Moise Keane, has doubled Italy's lead, and the Azzurri 2-0 up away against Israel as Moise Keane that has added another to that. Turkey thought they'd scored a third against Iceland, but that has just been disallowed, so it is still 2-1 to Turkey against Iceland, but they're certainly knocking on the door for another. Our Turkey, as our France here in the camp, as here comes Koundé again. Just 11 minutes gone in the second half, and France are looking for another as the ball's cut back to Conte. Now Dembele, bodies in the box. Ousmane Dembele waiting for the chance, and that's a wonderful goal by Ousmane Dembele. Wonderful effort, one that France have been pushing for again, and Belgium failing to deal with the France pressure. And Ousmane Dembele, quick feet, a magician with the ball, and he fires one into the top corner. France 2, Belgium 0, and there is no doubting that France have deserved it. And Ousmane Dembele doubling Les Bleus' lead. France 2, Belgium 0. Just really good play down the right hand side again, and the adjustments, the footwork from Ousmane Dembele, chops across Tayat and across the Bast. It's criminal from Belgium's point of view defensively to allow Ousmane Dembele to chop onto his left twice with two of your players to find that shooting space. He doesn't need much space, but when you give him that space, he is more often than not going to find the net, and he did emphatically there. Ousmane Dembele doubling France's lead in Decines, and all laughs and smiles from Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe, who France haven't needed him at all tonight. 2-0 to Les Bleus. Wow. Goodness me. And they can't say, as I said, they can't say they haven't deserved it, because they've been by far the better side tonight, France. By far. No questions about that fact. And really, to be honest, if they hadn't found a second, you'd be asking more about them rather than about Belgium, to be honest, as Jeremy Doku tries to break down the left up against Koundé. Driving towards the box, squeezing it through the lines, and De Bruyne has a shot charged down by Kone. It will be a Belgium corner. It was good work from De Bruyne. Somehow Doku cut it back into the box, and Tielemans just cushioned it towards De Bruyne, and he tried to swipe it with his left, but well closed out by Manu Kone. With another goal to tell you about in a moment. I'll wait on this Belgium corner though, as De Bruyne delivers right footed, flicked on, and just across and wide from Amadou Onana. That was close from Belgium. It's better play. It was De Bruyne, right footed delivery, and yeah, and he just popped up there ahead of Kolo Muani. It goes behind, ultimately just wide. Now, as they're going to make changes here, Belgium, so we'll get to that goal in a moment. I don't want to miss those changes for you. So Yuri Tielemans is going to make way, and Oral Mangala is going to be coming on. So Oral Mangala and Yuri Tielemans swapping places. And a second substitution for Belgium sees Dodi Lukebakio replaced by Yohan Bakayoko. So Yohan Bakayoko and Oral Mangala on for Yuri Tielemans and Dodi Lukebakio. So a double substitution there for Belgium. As I was saying, another goal elsewhere between Slovenia and Kazakhstan. Benjamin Šeško has cruised Slovenia into a 2-goal lead this evening. Well, he's completed the hat-trick. He's added a third. And it is now 3-0 to Slovenia against Kazakhstan. Looking pretty comfortable there, Slovenia, after their draw on match day 1. Looking to be adding 3 points. They will go top of that group, with Norway and Austria drawing at this moment in time. Of course, if you aren't aware, you may be wondering, as I said a bit earlier on, you know, how did why is kind of only League A going into the semi-finals? It turns out it's that league phased system. It's that kind of a pyramid. The higher up the leagues you are, you're going to get further in the competition, of course. With the better you are, so those League A teams, of course, will all be put into opportunities. But it's only the League A teams that will be competing for a place in the finals. Of course, 8 teams. And then you'll go, of course, into relegation playoffs and play a relegation. So you can move from League A. If you don't do well in your group, you can finish bottom of the group and be relegated. It happened to England last time round. They're in League B, England, but they were relegated from League A from a poor UEFA Nations League campaign. So every side has something to battle for, whether it be fighting for even promotion. Teams in League B and League C and League D, the top sides in those can be promoted to the league above, with sides being relegated, of course, as a result, in the opposite direction, of course, with the top sides in League A's groups all going into playoffs to try and battle it out for the finals positions. Of course, it's been a while since I've had to go through this information because it is the new campaign of the tournament. It's not every year that this is competed in. It is every other year, of course. So here's De Bruyne. The ball comes down the left as Doku, well, charged out that time, and a bit of a issue here. This is the Mexican way of going around the stadium, so the French fans are certainly enjoying it, but Jules Koundé's not in a happy moment at the moment as he's on the floor. So we'll might be needing a bit of treatment here. The French right back. It's Belgium just trying to get a bit of information onto the field and figure out how they try and get something out of this game at this moment in time. Donny says there's also quarterfinals this time, I believe. Yes, there has been a few adjustments to the competition. I realised when I was going through that, I was like, there's 8 teams can get through now instead of 4. So there's quarterfinals, yes. Thanks for reminding me, Donny, about that. They've added that, so they're expanding the competition even more. More competition for places and battles. So the top 2 in each group in League A will go through to quarterfinal stages, of course. So there's a realistic possibility, well, it's a certainty, that only 2 of the 3 teams, the big teams, shall I say, in this group, albeit all credit to Israel, in their footballing team, of course, on that front. But France, Belgium and Italy, 3 sides that probably should be wanting to battle in the latter stages of this competition, and one of them's going to miss out. And these are key matchups. I mean, the Israel game, all will be hoping, on the basis of the quality they have, to be beating Israel on a one-off game, or at least in both games. But it'll come down to the head-to-heads, the battles between these 3 sides, in France, Belgium and Italy, as to who can actually steal those top 2 places in the group. Of course, we'll see it develop as the months go on. Here's Castagna. Bakayoko. Back to Castagna. 25 minutes or so to go here in Decines, in the Groupama Academy Stadium. Where does France 2, Belgium 0. Colomouani and Dembele, the 2 scorers for Les Bleus. Here's Bakayoko for Belgium. That's a good spell forward. The ball comes across to Onana, whose ball is deflected behind, but cleared away by France. As Fast tries to go on a mazy run again, almost dispossessed as the ball comes back to De Bast to keep Belgium on the ball. Decent spell of possession this from Belgium. Something they've really needed. And they need to really try and create a good chance in the next few minutes to get themselves even more belief that they can get back into this game. As that ball from De Bruyne, wonderfully measured round the corner, but not a teammate chasing it, as France easily recover at the back. Upamecano. Conte playing through that press beautifully. France again. Koundé back to Conte. Back with Saliba. Breaks into space. Finds Lucadinho, who's got gaps in the middle to find. Comes in field. Finds Conte. Now Kone. Fabulous footwork from Dembele. He's got options now. He wants to shoot again. And that time over the bar from Ousmane Dembele. Certainly already put one in. Absolutely skips past Jeremy Doku like he's not there at all. It's fabulous work. Then he chops inside on Onana. Just tries to find the top corner again, but just a bit high and wide. The tiniest of inaccuracy there, and it lets him down ultimately. And look, if it's not already been scary enough for Belgium defensively, France are going to bring on the big boys, or at least some of the big boys. Bradley Barcola is coming on for France. He's replacing Marcus Thuram. He's not the one I'm talking about. You ever heard of Kylian Mbappe? Yeah, well, he's coming on. And he's going to be leading this French line. And he's going to get the captain's armband as well, of course. So Randall Colomwani is coming off. He's going to be replaced by Kylian Mbappe at this juncture. So a double substitution there from France. Seeing Marcus Thuram and Randall Colomwani replaced by Bradley Barcola and Kylian Mbappe. Again, another wasteful ball in behind from Belgium again. Easily recovered by France as Mike Magna gathers. Donny says, from what I've seen, it's hard to see Belgium making it through. Well, to be honest, I mean, I didn't watch the Israel game that Belgium won, of course, but tonight, other than a 15-minute spell at the start of the game, I really haven't seen much at all from Belgium, to be honest, in an attacking sense. It's been really disappointing. To be honest, I thought this would be a real goals galore matchup, but so far tonight, it's not been anything like that. From a Belgian point of view, it's been really disappointing and really uninspiring in terms of their attacking play. But from France, it's the complete opposite. Quite wonderful. Here's Barcola. Well charged out. It's Bakayoko back there helping out defensively, but ultimately given away by the Belgian players as Mbappe tried to curl one. Just a bit too narrow of an angle even for Kylian Mbappe to try and find a finish on. Wonderful again from France. The intricate football that they've played tonight. Just getting a foot to a ball, albeit maybe not kind of the cleanest of things, but picking up and fighting and battling for every single moment has been really impressive, as Belgium have just made another change. Charles de Ketelaere has come on. He's just replaced Luis Openda, so a swap up front for Belgium. Sees Charles de Ketelaere replacing Luis Openda. But of course, Belgium-Italy will be a massive test, as it looks like Italy are going to go 2 wins from 2 tonight, heading into that Belgium game. So I think they're the best set up in this group at the moment, because France and Belgium, if France see this one out, France and Belgium will both be on 3 points, Israel on 0 points, and Italy on 6, heading into those next matchups in October and November time. So it's going to be a fierce battle between these 3 teams, I do expect. I don't expect it to be 2 teams cut above the rest, but you never know. Things don't turn out right. Although Belgium haven't given up just yet, as de Ketelaere trying to make himself involved up front, does really well. Holds the ball up to Doku. Back with Teat, now Onana. As France have dropped a bit deeper, but de Ketelaere making the run in behind again. And the shot blocked by Mike Magna. Puts it behind for the corner. As De Bruyne plays it short to Doku. Options in the box here if he can find someone. France again closing down well. De Bruyne tried to catch out the sneaky one for Mike Magna, but the French goalkeeper had it all covered pretty comfortably in the end, seeing it coming from a mile away. No real threat on the French keeper. That's all there. There's a goal in Montenegro to tell you about. Wales cruised into a 2-goal lead inside 3 minutes. They might be on for a nervy ending here at the moment with 15 to go. Diriton Kamai, or Camage, I apologise for the pronunciation, has got one back for Montenegro. It's not over yet there. Montenegro 1, Wales 2. Fascinating group, that one as well. Of course, before we leave you tonight, we'll tell you about the states of each group, how they're running, all the results, and as well look ahead to tomorrow night, just briefly before we leave you this evening, so don't be rushing off. With less than 20 minutes to go here, the next goal would be huge in the manner of this game to decide quite concisely what the way the final 15-20 minutes will go. If it is a France goal, it will certainly dead the game, but a Belgium goal about now wouldn't be completely unwelcomed. As the ball into the box for De Bruyne to chase, but he headed it up into the air and easily gathered by McMania. Goal to tell you about in Romania. Romania took the lead through Mikhaila early in that one, but it is Lithuania have turned the tables in that one, and now lead Lithuania, lead Romania by 2-1. Domantas Antanavicius. I think I pronounced that right. Antanavicius. What a name. What a name. It's given Lithuania the lead. It is 2-1 there in Romania. Donny says they can't seem to build anything through midfield. Just seems to give it to Doku and hope France have played well, though. They have. I think France's play compared to, I think I watched every France game in the Euros, and I commented on every France game in the Euros. It's a completely different team. It's crazy the difference between France then and France now, albeit international tournament pressure and all that, all those things. Of course, France have had expectations to win those tournaments with their recent histories, but I don't think they were anywhere near attacking enough and threatening enough in the Euros, whereas they've been much more threatening. What? Nate ones? Ball in behind for France. Corner. As Kylian Mbappe there. Do apologise, I was just interrupted. France have a corner, they've taken it quickly. Belgium still trying to get set up. Here's Kylian Mbappe. Just losing out there. Ultimately, everybody's fallen to the floor. I think France are going to be given the free kick here. I don't know where that came from. I looked up and France were on the attack all of a sudden. But as I was saying, they didn't show any attack and threat, any pose of a threat in behind in the Euros. And that's a wonderful ball by Dembele to Kylian Mbappe. He made a beautiful run in behind. And De Bast had no chance to stop Kylian Mbappe. Really good save by Cohen Castells. A strong right hand denying Mbappe. A free kick here, France. I'll get to my point in a moment. I will get to my point. So 2 players over this free kick, Dembele and Digne. Digne will take it and hit it just narrowly wide for France there. At the point it was making, they had no real clinical edge or threat in the final third massively in the Euros, and they certainly didn't know how to find a finish. Their finishing was dreadful. I think that's probably something they've tried to work on in this international break, but they've been really fluid, really controlled, really beautiful football they've played tonight. And it's not against a kind of a side where you'd say, they should be beating them. They're kind of fodder. They're a team you should be beating. They're well below your level. This is a Belgium side who competed really well and probably should have beat France in the Euros, to be honest. But again, their lack of clinical finishing let Belgium down as well in the Euros. So 2 sides that had struggled with clinical finishing in the Euros but have come into this one. France have certainly improved on that. Belgium certainly not anywhere near enough, and that's a real optimistic but wayward effort from Kevin De Bruyne. There was no inflection on my voice because it was certainly nowhere near threatening enough. On the French goal, So, with around about 15 minutes or so to go here this evening, France 2, Belgium 0. Randall Kolo Muani and Ousmane Dembele's goals the difference between the two sides. But there's a lot more differences between these two tonight, other than the two goals. And the way they've played and their performances tonight have been absolutely chalk and cheese, contrasting to say the very least. And it gets France off the mark if they hold out for the 3 points here, albeit Belgium are still trying. I'll give them that. They are trying, but at the moment not with very much luck, as Théat beaten off the ball there, as Conte tries to send France on the break, and ultimately France wanted a free kick there for a challenge on that right hand side on Guendouzi, but I think the referee said no and play on Mangala. Here's Théat. Belgium have certainly had a bit more possession. I wouldn't call it threatening possession, but a bit more possession in the last 10-15 minutes. They've certainly, since those changes they made, they've tried to be a bit more direct, and certainly much more threat on the attack, but again, not massively testing Mike Maignan to a degree where you would be worried for France at the moment, as the ball in behind is just a bit away from Timothy Castagna. Goal kick. We have a goal in Norway to tell you about. Norway and Austria drew their first game. They were on course to draw this one, but it looks like, awaiting VAR confirmation, that Norway have taken the lead again. It is Norway 2, Austria 1, pending, of course, that VAR check, because we haven't got our goal scorer yet in that one, so I'm guessing there's a VAR check ongoing. But Norway, at the moment, do lead against Austria. And just to tell you, Lithuania's goal, by the way, was also ruled out, as France come forward and Mbappe hits just wide. Goodness me, I'm having to work a mile a minute here. All the different things I'm checking upon. One long ball forward, headed up into the air by Théat, dealt with dreadfully, or sorry, Wout Faes, flicked forward by, who was that? Was it Barcola? It was. Barcola flicks it forward and Mbappe tries to strike it from the narrow angle, ultimately going wide. As I was saying, Lithuania's goal that they thought was their goal that gave them the lead has been also ruled out. So it's 1-1 between Romania and Lithuania there. And I believe Norway's goal has also just been ruled out. So a few VAR interventions has ruled out a few goals this evening. It was Erling Haaland that it thought he'd find the net for Norway, but it is 1-1. Or, to correct myself, as I was just told it was not a goal, it is a goal. Sorry for the confusion. Erling Haaland's goal has been ratified by VAR. It is a goal. It's been awarded. 2-1 to Norway. That was bizarre. Initially it said it was disallowed, and then they've checked it and it's allowed now. Baffling. Change incoming here for France. Antoine Griezmann's going to come onto the field. Matteo Guendouzi is going to make way. Can't say I've said his name in recent years, Matteo Guendouzi, very much. And the man who scored the second goal this evening, so both of France's goal scorers are going to be off the field. Ousmane Dembele is going to make way for Michael Olise. The former Crystal Palace man is coming on for Ousmane Dembele. So Antoine Griezmann and Olise on, and being replaced are Matteo Guendouzi and Ousmane Dembele. I'm getting confused there. So some more fresh legs for France, and certainly ones you wouldn't want to be witnessing at this late stage if we were Belgium. There's a long ball from Maignan, trying to target Michael Olise there. Felt he was trailed down, but the referee said play on. As Mangala plays it out to Castagna. Now Bakayoko under pressure from Luca Digne, forced backwards to Wout Faes. Donny says, the choice of VAR. Indeed. Albeit in UEFA competitions it's a lot more palatable, VAR, but we'll see how it happens when the semi-automated stuff comes in the Premier League. Semi-automated offsides, whether that adds to the confusion or it actually helps the situation. Anyway, forget about VAR for now. I'm enjoying this game. We haven't had any VAR intervention. Fingers crossed that continues. As here comes Doku. Back with Teat. Now De Bruyne. Trying to create something out of this Belgium as we enter the final 10 minutes here in Decines, in the Groupama Academy Stadium. Doku. Darts it in behind. It's a lovely ball. And ultimately put behind for a corner. Oral Mangala was the threat there, and the French defence dealing with that situation and putting behind for a Belgian corner. We have a goal in Romania. We'll tell you about that in a moment. While this Belgian corner is being taken as De Bruyne delivers into the box, but easily gathered by Mike Magna. I can tell you that Romania have taken the lead. After Lithuania had thought themselves that they'd taken the lead, that goal was ruled out by VAR moments ago. And it looks like in the 87th minute, Razvan Marin, who scored a penalty for Romania in the Euros, big penalty in the Euros for Romania, looks to have won it for Romania late on there. Romania 2, Lithuania 1. Donny says Odegaard carried off injured for Norway. That's a blow for Arsenal. It is indeed a blow for Arsenal. We'll see what comes of that. Is Jeremy Doku's going to be replaced here for Belgium. Excuse me. They've made 3 changes this evening. This will be their 4th. And a man I can quite confidently say, I've not said his name before, Julien Duranville, the 18-year-old Belgian, plays for Borussia Dortmund, joined Borussia Dortmund in January 2023, Duranville, for £7.4 million from Anderlecht. And he's coming on. And Timothy Castagne is making way alongside Jeremy Doku. So double change incoming there for Belgium as well. So double change for the visitors. As France in behind here, this is a good move. Here's Barcola. Oh, just beaten off the ball. Well charged away. Really well dealt with there by the Belgian defence. Ultimately under a lot of pressure. It was a really good run by Barry Barcola. He just thought he was going to square it across for Kylian Mbappe, but he tries to go himself here. Gets into the box, and it was actually Olise that was at the back post. Mbappe was making the later run into the box and just gets charged down by Debast. It's really good defending, but another good chance where France probably could have added a third there on that occasion. Well, Italy thought they had a third a bit earlier in the game, in that one in Hungary, where they're playing Israel. At the moment, the last check, it was 2-0. I am hearing that there might be a goal for Israel, but it's under review, so Israel might be back in the game, but that is waiting on a VAR confirmation. I'll let you know what comes of that. Here's Olise for France. So they're not giving up yet. They only add a third to really add insult to injury to Belgium tonight. Kone. That's a really cheap pass in the midfield. Really good pressing from France. Well won back by Antoine Griezmann. And now down the left-hand side it comes. Here's Barcola. Barcola again trying to weave his way through. 3 bodies in front. Barcola gets it across and forces the touch and the clearance from Cohen Castells. I mean, that's genius work. That's incredible from Antoine Griezmann to win the ball back initially there. And then we just see Barcola just trying to stride his way through. And he just does really, really well here. Gets to the byline and fires it across. Forces the save of Castells as the ball's chipped into the box from the corner. Cleared away. Kone picks up for France again, but they're keeping the pressure on. Here's Antoine Griezmann, whose shot is right down the throat of Cohen Castells that time. Not much threat on the Belgian keeper, but certainly offering chances, France, at this late stage. I can tell you, at the moment, there's a few updates I can tell you. At this stage, Israel have got a goal back, so it is not done and dusted yet for Italy in Hungary this evening, where they're facing Israel. Mohamed Abu Fani has given Israel a goal back against the Azzurri, so it's not a confirmed 3 points for the visitors there. And at the moment, they're another 2 goals to tell you about, but here come France again. Here's Barcola. Try to find Mbappe just a bit behind the Frenchman. And it's ultimately charged down by Belgium, but France are, every time they come forward, you think they're going to create a really threatening chance. You think they're going to nick one, get one in. Upamecano does wonderfully there defensively against the pressure of the Belgians. Just update you on the change, by the way. I told you Castagna and Doku came off. Duranville and Thomas Meunier came on for him, so Meunier is on at right back for Belgium. That's wonderful from Mbappe. Strides past his man, Kylian Mbappe. Strike too narrow, too close to Cohen. Castells does really well to skip past fast initially, goes out to the left, then skips past him again on the inside, and then just tries to take on his man. Goes around Meunier, but just couldn't get it past Castells. Just a bit too narrow of a strike that time from Mbappe. Not much curl on it at all. And ultimately straight down the throat. But France certainly again pushing for a third. Speaking of third goals, I can tell you 2 sides that have got a third. Turkey have increased their lead on Israel, and Kerem Aktürkoğlu has completed the hat-trick to make it 3-1 to Turkey as Belgium try and come forward. Will win a corner off Jules Koundé. Out on that left-hand side does Duranville. It's really good defending by Jules Koundé. Makes the challenge perfectly. I'll get to that other goal in a minute. It's end-to-end football all of a sudden here in Decines, as De Bruyne is ready to take this corner for Belgium. 3 minutes of normal time to go. Fizzed across by De Bruyne to the edge of the box, and this strike is a terrible one from Bakayoko, which sets up the France counter. Here's Michael Olise on the charge. He's got bodies in front. Olise now finds it to Mbappe. Mbappe's got options. Looks to spin it forward for Barcola, who hits it not the way he probably could hit it, and completely mishits it, shall I say. Albeit the front 3 linking up there for France, but not ending up in a shot on target. Well off target from Barcola in the end. But as I say, every time France break forward, you think they're going to find the net and make it a 3, as De Bruyne does well. Cleared away that time by Antoine Griezmann, who was back there. So last few minutes in this one, as De Bruyne looking for options, throws his hands up in the air in a bit of disdainment at the fact that his side are showing him no real options, as that's a good overlapping run from Théat. Cuts it back. Easily blocked by Jules Koundé, but a bit lazy that time. But loose, sorry, I don't mean to say lazy, against N'Golo Kanté, and the ball ultimately goes for a goal kick. In the end, I can tell you that Romania have added a third. I can eventually get to that point. Alexandru Mitrita has added a third for Romania, so it is 3-1 there. They look to have wrapped up the points. Speaking of wrapped up, Italy have got the 3 points against Israel, albeit a late scare from a late consolation, albeit from Israel. But Italy have made it 2 wins out of 2, 6 points out of 6 in this international break. Perfect for the Azzurri. After a pretty disappointing Euros, defending their title didn't last very long. After they were knocked out by Switzerland, and Slovenia have convincingly beaten Kazakhstan. Another player getting a hat-trick tonight. Benjamin Šeško with 3 goals for Slovenia has secured the 3 points for that side. Those are the 2 final scores. Everyone else still ongoing at the moment. Every other game, we'll let you know when the other games have concluded. We'll update you on the final scores and also tell you where they sit in their respective league tables, their group tables, before we leave you this evening. Here's Onana. Théat to De Bruyne. Through the lines, finds De Ketelaere. Well charged down by Saliba. And now Kone wants to break away with the ball here for France. Plays it out to Barcola on the left-hand side. Hit the 90-minute mark. We will have 4 added minutes at the end here. 4 additional minutes. That's a hopeful but loose ball from Mbappe. Rare to see when he misplaces a pass. As France trying to battle there, but that's wonderful from Duranville. Beats past the challenge, two challenges from Conte, and wins his side. I thought he'd won him side of corner there. Deflected towards Mike Magna and picked up by the French keeper. That was wonderful from Duranville. Since coming onto the field, he's been Belgium's most threatening player. I mean, he's been absolutely wonderful, Julien Duranville. I mean, it seems to be that Borussia Dortmund is the place to go for young, new talents in European football. I mean, we've seen massive talents being absolutely moulded into the best players in the world over there in Germany, and through that system for Borussia Dortmund. And maybe Julien Duranville might be the next one on that kind of conveyor belt of talent that's come out of Borussia Dortmund, albeit not directly. They bought him, but they bought him and are probably hoping to make a big payment, get a big profit on him in a number of years' time. If he does progress well, it seems already tonight he's shown a bit of talent. Here's Antoine Griezmann for France. Finds Barcola. As Belgium get bodies back for the moment. There's 6 or 7 bodies back now for Belgium, as France just really not needing to go hell for leather, throw caution to the wind. Really, they're just getting the ball up the field and passing it around. At the moment, France at final score between Wales and Montenegro. Wales have hung on 1-2-1 in that one. And Turkey have also added their first win of the campaign as they beat Iceland by 3-1. Romania doing the same there. They won 3-1 against Lithuania. The only other game ongoing alongside this one is Norway against Austria. With less than 2 minutes to go here in this one tonight, it's been a pretty comfortable display from France. 25 shots to Belgium's 9. 9 of those 25 shots France have been on target, so France have had the same amount of shots on target as Belgium have had attempts in the whole game, whether off target, on target or anything else. So France certainly dominating on the attacking front as well this evening. Possession has been, even really. Belgium have probably edged it slightly, 55% to France's 45%, so it's very little difference, but there is a difference. But the key one, I will look at the very top of your screen, of the stats column on your screen, is the XG, albeit take it with a pinch of salt. But from the chances France have created, they've deserved their lead. 2.7 XG for France, 0.82 from Belgium. So on the basis of the chances they've created, this is a fair scoreline at this moment. As France make their final change, Youssouf Fofana is coming on, replacing N'Golo Kanté, who gets a hero's applause from the crowd as he does leave the field tonight and gets handed about 4 bottles of whatever, water and juice and everything. Certainly making sure he's not dehydrated as the long ball up the field by Magna. Last 30 seconds of the game here in Decines. As Olise controls. Spins around the corner, tries to play the ball in behind. Olise picks it up well. Spins it out to the left-hand side. France want one more chance. Here's Barcola. Tries to squeeze it through for Mbappe. Goes out for a throw-in on the left-hand side. And that will surely be one of the last actions of the game. If not the last action, as they've taken that throw-in actually. A few passes as Mbappe has it on the left flank. And he will just pass it backwards to William Saliba, and that is the final whistle from the referee. A night that France can pretty much be very happy with in terms of the grand scheme of things. 3 points, their first win of this Nations League campaign, albeit beaten by Italy on home turf a few days ago, and I'm sure Didier Deschamps would have wanted to avoid back-to-back defeats. Well, they have done, and they have put Belgium to the sword here tonight. No doubting they deserved it, no doubting they were the better side, and by far, comfortably should have won this game tonight. Kolo Muani and Dembele the scorers, but there could have been more, with the many chances that France created. 25 shots to be exact. It was a real blistering performance from the France forward line, and they have certainly shown a very different Les Bleus than we saw in the Euros. Could France be reignited for another campaign of Nations League and World Cup qualifiers on the horizon? Final score from the Groupama Academy Stadium in Decines. It is France 2, Belgium 0. And that is the final score in this game tonight. Elsewhere, Kosovo were beat Cyprus 4-0 earlier this evening. Italy held on to a 2-1 lead against Israel to convert that to 3 points. Same there for Wales. They went to a 2-goal lead, but Montenegro pulled one back, but it wasn't enough to get anything out of the game ultimately for the hosts there. Norway had to battle against Austria in a tight game, as Erling Haaland scoring the winner for the Norwegians. Slovenia had a Benjamin Šeško hat-trick to see them for 3 points tonight. One of the only other sides to claim a clean sheet as well. Turkey had a bit of tough work against Iceland for a while there. At half-time they were 1-1, but they came out in the second half, and Aktürkoğlu added his second and third for a hat-trick on the night for Turkey, and Romania winning 3-1 against Lithuania. So, the state of play in France and Belgium's group also includes Israel and Italy. Sees Italy top the group on 6 points, Belgium on 3 points, and France also on 3 points. Both sides have the exact same goal difference, so it is a battle between those two for the second and third places, and Israel bottom the group without a single point. In terms of the next group, which sees Norway, Austria, Slovenia and Kazakhstan in that group, Slovenia lead the way with 4 points. They have a better goal difference than Norway, who are also on 4 points, and Austria on 1, followed by Kazakhstan, also on 1 point. In Montenegro, Wales, Turkey and Iceland's group, to tell you about that one, if I can get that group up. For the moment, Turkey lead the way. Turkey leading with 4 points, better goal difference, a +2 goal difference. Wales in second, also on 4 points with a +1 goal difference. Iceland in third on 3 points, and Montenegro on 0 points. And in the final other group that was in action this evening, between Cyprus, Kosovo, Romania and Lithuania is as follows. Romania lead the way, 2 wins from 2, 6 points topping that group at the moment, at the top of the group. Kosovo on 3 points in second, Cyprus in third on 3 points, but of course goal difference separating Kosovo and Cyprus, and Lithuania are bottom of the group without a single point. That is all the scores, all the results, and all the places in the groups for this season. For this evening's action in our 8 games in the UEFA Nations League. Tomorrow, I can tell you that we're back in action again for you for a final night of UEFA Nations League action as we watch England take on Finland at Wembley tomorrow at 7:45, including all the other games involving the UEFA Nations League tomorrow evening. 8 extras to be exact, 9 in total. And then we'll be back for the third and fourth matches from the UEFA Nations League in October the 10th to the 15th. That's it tonight. Thank you very much for your company. It's been great to have you with us here for this Nations League game as France and Les Bleus cruise to victory. The Belgium and the Red Devils left red-faced in France this evening. Good night.